Sonak and Feroze, welcome to Member Spotlight.
Walaikum salam, Kashif. Thank you for having me here today.
All right, now thank you for being part of this journey with AMCOB. So, share with us a little bit about yourself. Where did you start your career and where you are now and with Think and Change?
Yeah, sure. So I would say I started my career as a software developer back in 1988 in Karachi. Back then, we Commodore 64 and those type of devices were just coming about, and we
Hmm.
were learning how to do some basic coding. And I think at that time I fell in love with coding, and I learned how to do BASIC and then also COBOL.
Hmm.
But unfortunately, back then there weren't any educational institutes with a degree program in Karachi, and so that's why I came over to Chicago, did my bachelor's degree in computer science from DePaul University, and
Hmm.
then I pursued my master's, did my master's over there as well, and then my formal professional career began with Baxter Healthcare. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So, how did you, from there, how did you come towards entrepreneurship?
Well, I had kind of been an entrepreneur myself within the corporate walls.
Hmm.
Um, And from very earlier on, I used to go solicit projects from the different departments I worked with within Baxter Healthcare, as well as when I moved over to Abbott Labs.
Hmm.
It was almost like a small consulting company with a team of about, well, I say small, we were at about 56 people um, uh, at the tail end of my corporate career, and we operated like an internal consulting company, um, getting projects from various different departments, um, mostly within R&D,
Hmm.
and building out the software. Um, so that was kind of like almost in me. Um, my parents, my grandparents, all have been business folks. And
Hmm.
so it was a matter of time where I kind of would have given up my corporate career and started my own business. Um, but the calling came in when I felt like, as I was rising through the ranks
Hmm.
at Abbott Labs, I felt more and more distant with the people, right? And I felt like the everyday average people, I was disconnected. I had to have some sort of a meaningful life.
Hmm.
I think it may stem from the fact that my siblings, my cousins, all are like doctors and nurses, and so their work is directly impacting people's lives, right? So I've grown up within that family, and that's where I felt like I was disconnected. That's what I mean by disconnected.
Okay.
I wanted to do something that would take advantage of not only my academic, my career, my profession,
Hmm.
but also being able to give back. Um, and so that's where Think and Change came about.
All right. So, what exactly do you do with Think and Change?
So with Think and Change, we uh, basically provide three different products that we have that we are channel partners for.
Hmm.
The first product is a cybersecurity product.
Okay.
Second product is a CRM product, and a third product is for private cloud hosting. And then we also do software development, and we have staff aug as well. Now, when we do good business, just like any other business,
Hmm.
but the difference is that we see ourselves. I see myself in a slightly different light, where I see the work that we're doing, especially in Jamaica, helps uh, impact people's lives by providing work, higher value chain work, that
Mm-hmm.
is tied to their academic studies. And in doing so, I partner with the universities, some of the other educational institutes over there as well,
Mm-hmm.
um, bringing a lot of the connections, corporate connections that I've made over the last 23 years in Chicago, um, and trying to see if we can influence the curriculum at the university level and at the vocational training level, right? And then, like I said, I am trying to look at this from a slightly different lens, not just from a corporate profitability perspective, but putting a lot more focus on corporate responsibility. And that's where I think we're different.
Okay. So how's the business coming along?
So the first 3 years, once again, everything was a building block and company in making. We had lots of changes. We morphed quite a bit. Now going into our fourth year, Alhamdulillah, we are on track for about 1 million by the end of this year.
Okay.
And our stretch goal is now to get to about 3 million by the end of this year. And so, Alhamdulillah, it's coming up very well. I think it's very well received, especially because there are some challenges with working with offshore teams in the East,
Mm-hmm.
and with us being in Jamaica in the same time zone, the closer proximity, as well as being able to accommodate English as a native language.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have a little bit of an uh, advantage over some of the Eastern countries, East India companies. And Alhamdulillah, it's great. It's been great in making. We started from ground zero,
Mm-hmm.
and so where we are at fourth year now, I can only call it a blessing from Allah.
Okay. No, definitely looking forward to seeing more success coming your way. Where do you see the with all the like after COVID and all that stuff? Where do you see your industry going, and what do you foresee as the work environment gonna be in the future?
Um, Kashif, I think COVID has made it clear that remote or hybrid work is the way of future, right? Most people these days like that flexibility where they can work from home, whether completely remotely or in some sort of a hybrid fashion. And so once again, being in this industry, I think we're going to see more and more of that. Um, uh, I think there is definitely some value in having people come into the office, and that's where you have like team bonding, team culture, all of that comes into play, right? AI and cybersecurity, as you know, are the big themes right now.
Hmm.
And AI, from my perspective, is the next leap forward. And we're still seeing some very basic level AI capabilities and conventional AI and your Chat GPT type implementation. I think we're going to see a lot more from a corporate perspective, but then also from our daily lives as well. And so where I see us going in the next 5 years is lining up right up against AI. We're already working towards building a product for a client that is going to have an AI capability, and it's actually a HRMS system that we're building. Um, and I think this is where we're all learning. It's fairly new.
Hmm.
I see that our own internal product that we have built, which is called Q My Turn, and that product helps eliminate people standing in lines. While we first built that product with the conventional, database model type, our next iteration of that is going to be an AI based capability. We're still trying to figure all of that out yet, but the next 5 years or so is going to be right in line with AI. We're going to have our products that we're channel partners with,
Hmm.
cybersecurity, as well as uh, uh, cloud computing. We're already seeing those channel partners to equip their product with AI capabilities. Um, so Kashif, once again, in the next 5 years, I think that there's going to be a boom, so to speak, right, within the AI space, and Think and Change is going to be right along riding that wave.
All right, definitely. That's good. So, share with us outside of work, what are your hobbies or interests?
Kashif, hobbies, I used to play cricket a lot.
Okay.
I still like to watch. I think I don't have the physique anymore to kind of like play as much.
Hmm.
I dabble with it, but other than that, I spend a lot of time with my family, and then any time that I have left between work, family is dedicated towards giving back. And so we do a lot of activities in Jamaica,
Hmm.
not only Jamaica, but other parts of the world as well. And those have been there forever, right? We can talk about Gaza, or we can talk about what's happening in some of the other parts of the world.
Hmm.
But I'm gonna focus a little bit on Jamaica because I think that is an area that most people are not aware of, because there's no calamity there and there is no prosecution, right? And so a lot of people are not aware that there are challenges, especially in the Muslims that are in Jamaica. And
Hmm.
so I do spend a lot of time trying to help improve our Muslims' lives in Jamaica.
Okay,
Um, that
inshallah.
is my passion. Hobby is usually a passion, and I think that has become my passion now.
Okay, no, thank you. Thank you for doing that. Definitely, it would uplift that community, and we never know what would come out of that
Right.
effort. So, thank you. Any any message that you would like to give to fellow entrepreneurs, or anything else that you would like to share with MCOP community about you?
Well, first with the community, those folks that um, are just joining MCOP, right? The startups, the startup journey is not a easy one, right? There's going to be some hurdles, some challenges. I think the best thing is to connect within the community and learn from each other, right? There's
Mhm.
no point on making the same mistakes again, right? And
Yep.
so having a community like MCOP gives us that platform where we can share ideas, we can ask questions, make connections, right? And so I think it's great, Kashif, that you kind of started this in for the Muslims around the world, and for those that are coming in new, I think it's a great resource that I think can give benefits all the way from someone who's just starting all the way through the large corporations that are out there.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, that's something that I definitely share with others. I hope I get to a point where I'm able to share my insights as well with the community. Um,
No,
inshallah.
inshallah, you are already doing it. So, thank you for being a part of this journey, and thank you for being here today with us.
Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Sonic.
Wa alaikum salam.